Imagine walking into a place where the air feels thick with something wrong, something ancient and angry. One man did exactly that, full of confidence, ready to face whatever lurked in the shadows. What happened next wasn't just frightening, it changed him forever. 3 deep scratches appeared on his back right on camera. His eyes rolled back. His voice turned into something cold and unrecognizable. And weeks later, he needed help from spiritual experts to break free from what had latched onto him. This isn't a made-up story. It's a documented moment from a real investigation at one of the most infamous locations in paranormal history. A Kentucky honky-tonk built on ground soaked in blood and tragedy for over a century and a half. The building stands on the site of an old slaughterhouse from the mid-1800s. For decades, animals were butchered there, their blood pouring into a deep well still hidden in the basement today. Experts in the occult say that kind of repeated violent death can tear open doorways, thin spots where darker forces slip through more easily. Tragedies kept piling up. In the late 1890s, a young woman named Pearl was brutally murdered nearby. She was expecting a child, and her killers took her life in a horrific way, leaving her headless body in the woods. Her head was never found. Legends grew that her restless spirit still searches the area, drawn to places tied to violence. Later, during the Prohibition era, when the spot became a secret nightclub, another heartbreaking story unfolded. A young dancer fell in love with a performer. She got pregnant. Her father, who controlled the property, opposed it fiercely. According to tales passed down, he poisoned her to stop the relationship. In despair, she may have taken revenge before ending her own life. More death, more sorrow. The layers of pain just kept building. Then came reports of darker things. In thus, a 1960s and 70s, whispers spread about occult groups using the basement for rituals. A caretaker who lived upstairs in those years suffered terribly. Constant disturbances, attacks he couldn't explain. Eventually, overwhelmed, he took his own life. Many believe something malevolent pushed him to that edge. Paranormal researchers who studied the place warned anyone who would listen. This isn't your typical haunted spot with harmless echoes or playful spirits. Professionals, including demonologists and mediums, described an oppressive, intelligent presence, especially around that basement well. They felt watched, threatened. Some refused to return. Others said, only go in with strong protection. A young investigator, brash and fearless at the time, arrived with his small team to document what was there. He was in his late 20s, already known for bold style, challenging entities directly, demanding proof, showing no fear. He'd explored plenty of places before, but nothing like this. Warnings came from every side, the former caretaker's terrifying accounts, expert opinions calling it a genuine infestation, psychics sensing pure hostility in the lower levels. He brushed it off. In set-up interviews, he even said things like, "If something evil is here, let it come for me. I'm not scared." Words that, to those who understand these forces, sounded like an open invitation. The night unfolded. He went solo into the basement, the heart of the danger, carrying just a handheld camera. At first, everything seemed normal. He walked the dark halls, narrating what he felt, tension building, but still himself. Then, something shifted. Suddenly, dramatically. His face changed, hardened. His eyes looked different, darker, distant. His voice dropped low, aggressive, nothing like his usual energetic tone. He spoke words full of violence and hate. things he would later swear he had no memory of saying. G, his crew, watching feeds from upstairs, tried radioing him over and over. No response. It was like he couldn't hear them, like he wasn't there anymore. Then came the physical proof that still shocks people today. He stopped, reached back, wincing. "Something's burning," he said. He lifted his shirt toward the camera. Moments before, his back was clear, no marks at all. In seconds, 3 long, parallel scratches appeared, red, raised, some drawing blood. About 6 inches each, perfectly straight. Impossible for him to reach that spot on his own with that force and precision. The camera caught it all in real time from multiple angles. No tricks. No time to fake it. His crew rushed down. They found him frozen, facing a wall near the well, unresponsive. When he turned, his gaze was empty, looking through them, not at them. He spoke to them in a hostile way he'd never used before, making threatening moves. Then his body locked up. His eyes rolled back completely, showing only white. He stood like that for long seconds while they shouted his name, touched him. Nothing. When it passed, he seemed dazed, confused about where he was. They pulled him out immediately. The investigation ended right there. The real terror came after. On the long drive back, he sat silent, staring ahead with vacant eyes. Back home, nightmares hit every night. Screaming awake, soaked in sweat. No memory of the dreams. In sleep, he'd speak in strange voices, deep growls, childish whispers, never his own. His partner at the time was terrified sleeping beside someone who felt like a stranger. He grew angry over nothing, paranoid, checking locks, feeling watched even in daylight. The outgoing guy everyone knew withdrew completely, isolating himself. Those scratches healed oddly fast, but the emotional scars lingered. He sought help, including spiritual intervention to remove what had attached itself. Symptoms that felt like trauma, deep, lasting, followed him for months, maybe longer. At night became a turning point. Before, he investigated with swagger, taunting the unknown. After, everything changed. He stopped daring entities to attack. He started using prayers, protective items, cleansings, things he'd once dismissed. He refuses to ever return to that place, no matter the temptation of big ratings. "It's too dangerous," he says. What happened there can happen to anyone. Some question it all, say the scratches were convenient timing, the behavior just stress or acting for the camera. Others point to the multiple angles, the impossibility of self-infliction, the consistent accounts from everyone there. Skeptics and believers still argue, but the location's reputation endures. Other teams report similar attacks, attachments, lasting effects. Experts call it infested, not haunted, but infested, with something intelligent and cruel. If this story touches your heart, please share it. Stories like this remind us some places hold darkness we shouldn't provoke. What happened that night serves as a stark warning. Curiosity can open doors that are hard, sometimes impossible, to close. Approach the unknown with respect, because once something gets in, it doesn't always leave easily. If this moved you, hit like, subscribe for more real stories of the unexplained, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. You never know whose night this might change. Stay safe out there.